Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how I like to use Google Slides to organize my week. I use Google Slides pretty much for 90% of the things that I create, just because it's easier to use than Google Docs. And also, if you share a Google Slide on a phone and parents or students are viewing something on the phone, Google Slides just fit the phone better than a Google Doc. So in this video, I'm just showing you one way how I use Google Slides is to organize my week. So last year, at the end of the year during distance learning, I started to share a weekly slide that looked similar to this each week, where I broke down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and linked everything that the students would need to do to the slide. I also added in a weekly video of me explaining what each assignment was, and also they had a daily check in that they would complete and fill out, like a would you rather question, or fill out a question if they needed any help from any teachers. So they would fill that out daily, or some of them would fill it out daily. The majority of them would skip that, and the majority of them would skip the weekly video and then email me and ask me what they needed to do, in which I would return email them back and say, did you watch the video? But every Monday, I would drop a slide similar to this onto Google Classroom in hopes that the students would return back to the same post on Google Classroom and go through each day and complete the assignments. So this is just a few of examples of the different slides I did. I usually picked like a different background, sometimes to fit the theme. Like this theme was exploration, so I did sort of like an island look. And I would add in our Bitmojis. Mrs. Castrilla and I used the same slides and we shared the workload. And I would go through and again, I would link the assignments. I would also tell them which things were graded and which things were marked for completion. And as always, linking a video and a different weekly check-in. And then here's another example of one that I created. And then another example, this one was the African empires. So I fit that. This was Shakespeare and Renaissance literature. So we tried to find an image. Also with this one, I started making it to help with students and note taking. When they had to watch a video, we would do a link where they would watch a video and then they would have to take specific notes. So they would click this link and it would force them to make a copy. And then as they're watching the video, they can take the notes that they needed to learn from the video. So we would have a document for them to take notes on. Sometimes they would type right on it, and then sometimes they would just be specific things that they would put in their notebook. But when we had them type right on the doc, we would I added in a QR code because I figured it's easier if they watched the video lesson from their phone, so they could scan the QR code from this using their phone, their photo app on their phone, and then they would watch the video on their phone, and at the same time they would have this pulled up as they're watching it and they could take the notes on the computer. So sometimes when I set things up, I try to think of what I would want to do, and I would find it hard to like watch a video and then toggle it back. So I wanted an easy way. I added in the QR code to take them to the video lesson so they could just scan it and put it on their phone. So that was just something that I added in there for to make it easy for the students to find and complete the assignments. So that was one thing that I would organize my slides. And then the last week I kind of switched it up on them and I changed the look of my daily slide because I really got into the Bitmoji classrooms. So, but still the same idea where they would have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they would link everything, what they needed to do, and directions. One thing that I learned that you could do at the end of the distance learning was you can also link actual Google Classroom posts to a slide. So that would be something that I'm going to add in next year, and I will show you that how I would do that as I move forward in this video. So that's just some ways that I would organize the slides. One thing that I would change up for next year is every week I would do a new post and with a new slide. But I am wondering if it would be have been easier if I did one Google Classroom post that said, come here for your weekly assignments, and then just added in a slide. So as the weeks went by, the students could have went to one Google slide and then had access to all the slides on one Google slide. I think that would be a lot easier so students don't have to keep on searching for things on Google Classroom, because I don't know what happened to my students, but when they were learning from home, they all of a sudden could not find anything on Google Classroom. So the easier I could make it where the students could find things, the better. So next year, if I organize my class this way, I would probably not post a separate slide each week. I would make one post and then just add the weekly slides like this. And that way, when students are missing assignments for whatever week, they can go back through the week. I would probably add some additional like titles on here, probably the week of right on here. So students can go back exactly to what they need to find. And another thing that I did was I tried to name the assignments the exact same thing that it was named in PowerSchool so they could hopefully locate them quickly. So in this video, I'm just going to show you a quick way of how you can create something like this um, and organize it. So what I would start off with is a blank slide, and I would find an image, a background image that I like. So I've already searched a little bit and I like this one because maybe I'm going to do it for the first week of school. So I just search the web and then I right click and then I copy image address. And the thing that you really want to make sure that you do is don't just paste it in there. Don't do this. Well, I copied the image address, but don't copy the picture and then paste it in. You want to go to background and choose image. And since I copied the address, I'll just paste it in there and then insert image and then click done. And then you can't move it around. I don't really like the way that it's a little bit blurry and not as defined as I would have liked. So I'm gonna see if I can find a better image. Okay, I went through and found another image. This was a little bit more clearer, and so it's not as fuzzy. It's still a little bit weird shaped, and if I had more time, I would probably have looked for a better image. But a lot of the times you just have to look at the image size, and that can help, and maybe just keep on trying until you find one that you like. But I'll just go with this image here. So the first thing that I would do is I would insert, just because it's easier to type in and keep things organized, I insert a table. So I would usually have, like, if depending on how you want to do it, I'm going to do this one where it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday going down. So I would need one extra title one, and then that's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then usually I do like directions maybe, and then the assignment links like that. So I make my table. And then once I make the table, I will do my font. And a lot of this, would be pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just quickly go over how I do this. And then also show you how to link Google Classroom. And then just find a font that you like. And then maybe I'm going to make this scoot over just a little bit. And then you can title it, maybe we'll title it Directions. And what do I usually title it? Lesson and activity. Okay, so this is like the lesson description and the activity that they have to complete, pretty much for a grade. And not knowing if we're going to be all, like how it's going to be next year, I don't know exactly how I would organize my daily slides yet. So I'm just going to go off of how I organized it when we were, either how it would be like if we were 100% virtual next year. but I think I would probably organize it a little bit different if we were half and half. And then you can do different things with this if you want. Like you can change the outline of that text. So maybe if you wanted it white, and you can even change the thickness of it. So it's a little thicker like that. And since it's on a chalkboard, I think I'll just leave it like that. And you're always going to need more space. So I try to see what it would look like and how it would fit if I did something like that. Okay, and then you would just type in whatever the assignment is. So you could do like video lesson, and then you would add a link. So all you have to do is highlight and then click on the link, and then it would be whatever video lesson that you would want to add in there. So we'll just do this one. So let's say this is the video, which I think I do use this one during it. I would just link something like this, and then you would go back to the slide, put in the link, and then there it is. Okay, and then let's say, so that's the video lesson that you want, and let's say you do have a doc that you want them to take notes on. You would just, let's say this is the doc that you want them to take notes on. You can go share, or let's say the doc is actually, you put it on Google Classroom, and you want them to take notes from Google Classroom because maybe you want to check to see. So there's a couple ways that you can do it. You can link them from Google Classroom. So let's say I do want to link it, and I made up a new Google Classroom for next year, and I have an example. So let's say this was the assignment that you wanted to link to that. You would go copy link. Now this is period 2. So if you're going to link something to Google Classroom, you need to do it by class period. So this is period 2. So you'd have to find some sort of clear routine so your students know and go over it. So period 2 would click on that link. And then whatever the next period is, so I have a period 4, I would go back to my period 4 to the assignment. So I know it takes, I didn't learn that you could do this until the end, but believe me, I would have done it all, even though it does take a little bit of time. That time will hopefully save some emails of students saying they can't find the assignment. So you would just keep going through and linking these for the students to find to each Google Classroom. So period 2 would come up and they would click on their link to take it to them. Now, if somebody from period 4 clicked on period 2, it would not take them to that Google Classroom because they're not in that Google Classroom. And then, so you really have to train your kids on that. So that is a way that you can link something. So if you would have uploaded these notes onto a Google Classroom post and named it so kids could find it also from Google Classroom, and you made it where everybody gets their own copy, they can do that. So they can get to it through those links. Now, let's say you don't want to link it to it, and you don't really need to check to see if they wanted to take notes. This is what I usually do that way. So if I don't need to check to see if these kids are taking notes, but I want to provide them with the notes, what I do is I go to share, and then you would change this link. Now, I have a little help. I'm going to show you something, but if you click on the cactus, it actually shows you a little bit more. And let's say, I'm just going to keep it restricted to Avon Lake City Schools. I have an extension that I found. It's called Sir Links a Lot. So if you click on the cactus, it will show you how to get to that and how to use that. But Sir Links a Lot, if you click on the link, I can do force copy. And so it makes it so you do this. I made a force copy, and then I click it, put the link in there. And then now, if I don't really care about looking at the notes, the students could click on this link, and it's going to make them make a copy of it. So they will still have it. And I don't need to make an extra post in Google Classroom and clutter up my Google Classroom with something that technically I don't need to see. I'm just offering them a resource for them to use so they know how to do well on the test. And I'm not going to really check to make sure they're doing it, but I could go back, and if they start failing quizzes, I can say, hey, show me the notes. Like, pull up that doc and show me the notes. And if they look at me crazy, then I know, hey, you're not using all the resources. So that's just a couple ways that you can organize your your weekly slides. So again, you can link the things, or sometimes if you don't want to really, if you want to provide the resource for them and don't want to clutter up your Google Classroom, you can do something like that where they will be forced to make a copy. So I would go through the week and I would type up everything that they're doing for that week. I would provide all the links for them. And then I would also add in a weekly video of myself maybe explaining it. Maybe I wouldn't need the weekly videos next week since we'll have some face-to-face contact, and a daily check-in. I'll probably still do a daily check-in for the kids that maybe are working from home during that day. So then once I have everything done and linked to the slide, again, I would post it on Google Classroom, and I would probably post it, like I said, as one long slide like this. Okay, one resource, if you click on the the pineapple takes you to the video about Sir Links-a-Lot and some cool extensions. If you click on the cactus, it'll actually take you to a folder. So let me go back to the presentation. So the pineapple will take you to a video that shows you some cool extensions if you want to learn about some cool extensions. The cactus will take you to a resource that you can use. So this resource are copies of some daily things that weekly organizers that I've already created that you can go through, and if you like them, you can use them. I've created I tried to create some different varieties, some plain ones, and I did a monthly one just in case you could link monthly. I don't know how that would work. But feel free to go ahead, and if you like the one, you can copy it and create it. Also, if you create a really cool weekly organizer and has a lot of detail and you have a better way of organizing your week, please feel free to share it with me. So if you share that slide that you created to my email address, I will copy and paste it in here. So the hope is that we will have a collection of really cool templates that all the teachers in Avon Lake could go and look at, and everybody has a kind of a different idea of organizing in some way. Maybe somebody's looking at this one and thinking, oh, I have a way better way to organize the week. Share it with me through my email, and then I'll take a look at it and copy and paste it in here. And again, teachers, like if you want something different, you can just go right back into this resource, and you can go ahead and copy and paste it and then plug in your week's assignments. So I hope that you took something away from this way that you can organize your week to make it easier. Um, Feel free to use any of the resources, and thanks for watching.